Agencies Drinking Beer is brought to you by Proposify, software that helps you deliver beautiful proposals in the cloud and close more deals.
I'm Kyle Rocky.
And I'm Kevin Springer.
And you're listening to Agencies Drinking Beer. On this episode, we're joined by Sue B. Zimmerman, a.k.a. the Instagram expert, and she'll be showing us how agencies can use Instagram to promote themselves and their clients. Welcome back, Kevin.
Thank you.
I feel like it's been ages since we've done this.
So, yes, Australia, back a couple weeks, feeling good.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You still jet lagged?
No, I'm good.
No, you're good now.
I'm ready to rock. So, I know you don't like to fly, and you're flying out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm going to head to Austin, Texas. My first time in Texas.
You going to medicate a little bit or before fly?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
You'll be okay?
Yeah, no, it'll be okay. Actually, by the time people are listening to this episode, I'll be there. So I'm actually speaking at an event called the Agency Summit. It's put on by Digital Marketer. Digital Marketer is a company run by Ryan Dice, who people may or may not have heard of. But anyway,
he also hired our good friend Marcus.
Marcus, the teddy bear Murphy, works at Infusionsoft. So. That's, I guess, how we got invited down there. We're sponsoring it, I think, or we bought a trade show.
We're one of the sponsors, and we are in the trade show.
Very cool.
And it's kind of cool because one of our new sales guys is going to be down there, man in the booth.
Yeah, Ryan
McDougall.
I almost said Dice again. Too many Ryans.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. So Ryan's going to manhandle the booth, and I'm going to be doing a talk on proposals that close. I was thinking of telling a joke and saying, proposals don't close deals, people close deals, and then saying that I thought that joke was appropriate to use because I'm in Texas.
Oh, gotcha. You had to think about that for a second.
You had to think, that was a cerebral
hemorrhage.
It's good. That's good. Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, we've had just people in the office on the podcast. It's been a while since the dynamic duo were at it, but here we are.
We're back. We did 2 in 2 days.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yes.
I've got nothing else to say.
No. This is a very good one. Actually, these two are very educational.
What's these do?
These two, I said, these past 2 interviews we did.
Oh yeah. So we talked to Tyler Anderson yesterday, who hosts the Social Hour podcast. That was really good. That's going to be on next week. We're talking to Sue B. Zimmerman today, the Instagram expert. So I learned a lot of stuff about Instagram.
Absolutely.
Unsurprisingly, but there's a lot of hidden things in there you just don't know about, getting verified and.
Yeah, I mean, like I said on the podcast, I got on there just to monitor what my kids were doing. I didn't realize you could monetize anything with that.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it on the interview because I was a little embarrassed, but I also like to follow cosplay girls. The people that cute girls that dress up as comic book characters and video game characters.
Captain Fetish.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's okay.
I like it.
Hey.
I like it.
You're honest.
Okay. Well, we're going to learn more about Instagram right now. So let's move. Should I do it again? Should I just give it up? Should I retire the screen?
Probably.
Okay. It's getting old, isn't it? All right.
Okay.
Let's move on to the interview with Sue B. Zimmerman. Sue B. Zimmerman is also known by her hashtag, the Instagram expert, and has built her career empowering entrepreneurs and marketers to use Instagram for more than just awareness, but to actually make money. I met her at this year's Inbound conference in Boston, where she generously gave me her Instagram pillow, for which I'll be ever grateful. Welcome to the show, Sue.
Hey, thanks. I'm glad you're grateful. I think your kids are more grateful.
They love it. And I like that it was the old Instagram logo. You have both. You have the new one and the old, but you gave me the old
Yeah,
one, which
you
I
have the
like.
classic. Don't you go selling that on eBay now?
I won't be doing that. It means so much. Unless it's worth like a lot of money, then I might sell it. I don't know. We'll see. But no, it's really cool. So we've got a ton of stuff that we want to talk about, and you being the Instagram expert, I've got a lot of questions for you. I've been kind of a late adopter to Instagram. I really only signed up 2 years ago, but it's really becoming my favorite social network. But it doesn't seem like something you can really make money at using Instagram. But you're here to prove me wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to prove you wrong, but I'm curious, why has it become your favorite social network, or one of them?
Do you know why? Because, well, I still like Facebook, but I find there's too many posts that annoy me. Like there's, people post news articles and stuff. And in Instagram, it's just pretty pictures. And I just feel happier when I'm on it.
Exactly.
There's less bullshit.
The only reason I got on it, I got on it because I had to keep track of my 12 and 14-year-old because they were earlier adopters than I was. That's that's why I set it up originally, just to monitor those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how I discovered it, was from my teenagers.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
So everyone listening, pay attention to the habits of your young ones, because chances are they're setting the next mobile trend.
Yeah, totally. And now it's with Snapchat. Now people are using Snapchat to market. It's like teenagers can't get away from the adults. Wherever they go,
we're there.
We follow them, and then we bring ads with us.
Exactly.
We got to pay for their habits, right?
So let's talk about Instagram then. How did you kind of get, I guess why did you choose Instagram as the platform to specialize in? And, just maybe talk through agency owners that are listening. How can they, if they're not really using it so much now, for either themselves or their clients, how can they start using it as a way to really grow their business?
Okay, so let's first, I'd love for the listeners to understand how I discovered the power of Instagram and started using it to kind of classify how I became the quote unquote hashtag Instagram expert. I'm like many people listening probably who have a small business, has always had a small business, and I was using social media to bring people into my retail store that I had on Cape Cod. So I had it for 6 years. I was doing all different social media to get people into the door, whether it was Foursquare, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, you name it. I knew all these platforms and I knew how to market, but I didn't have great success until I started using Instagram. And there's a couple things that happen. So obviously, I'm a retail store owner. We're talking to agencies, but there's some tactics that I'm going to go through that I think will be helpful and useful. So I started using it and I empowered the people. Yeah, you need to empower your employees. You need to get on the same page as to what is your digital social footprint that you want to be known as, and how can you show up consistently with the same branding and the same vibes that it's feels like to be working and collaborating with you as the agency owner. For me, as the store owner, I knew that the girls were the demographics of a lot of my customers, or they had moms who were. And by having my employees post on their Instagram feed, as well as me posting on my own, our collective efforts really brought in a lot of traffic and subsequently a lot of business. And so my sales increased 40% in one summer, and I've had the store for 6 years. I did close the door to my store last year to focus full time on teaching online marketing, specifically Instagram. But I understand what it takes to physically get people to be attracted to you and your store, and the experience that they can have working with you. And a lot of what Instagram is, and I love that you said it's fun, and it's, for me, it's not just fun, and I do say it is fun all the time, but there's no distractions. Like you said, you're not seeing, notifications for games or ads, and you get to choose which account you want to follow and get inspired from. And it's so important to be choosing the right accounts that are actually going to give you value. Value being entertaining you, educating you, inspiring you in some way every day. And if the account doesn't do that, you shouldn't be following them, because what you see in your newsfeed every day are the accounts that you follow. And what Instagram now does, because of the algorithm change, is show you in the Explore tab, the second one from the left, what you might be interested in discovering based on your activity. So, in order to get inspiration and have that pleasant experience in Instagram and even kind of make it better and better every time you log in, you really need to be cognizant of your activity as well. Did this all make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I two of the things I sort of follow on Instagram are like men's fashion and fitness. And so, anytime you go to the Explore tab, they always show me, you might like this, and it's all similar accounts. And there must have been a hiccup in the algorithm because one time I got a video of a doctor popping a really big zit, and it was the grossest thing I ever saw. And they were like, "You might be interested in this."
Oh,
I don't know why they showed that, but anyway, it's
So wait, so let me just take a pause here for a second. So if you have a personal account and a business account like I do, so I'm at Subi Zimmerman on my personal, I'm at the Instagram expert for my business with a business profile, very different accounts. You need to be conscious of which one you're logged in as if you are double tapping, engaging, because then you will see that in the suggested discovery tab. So a lot of people I know have more than one account, and many of the people listening probably manage a lot of different clients' accounts. And if anyone's managing their engagement, this is absolutely very important.
oh, that's a good tip. Do you think? I mean, I suppose it's kind of an obvious question, but do you think Instagram has improved with Facebook buying it and Facebook and Instagram having this kind of joint relationship where things you do on Facebook can kind of impact what you see on Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's an engine behind it, and I think all their updates and changes, and I think they listen and they listen and they observe what people want more of, or the changes that they want, or what are the changes going on in social, and how can they integrate that into Instagram. A lot of it based on what's happening on Facebook and inspired somewhat by Snapchat for sure. But I have always felt like the experience on Instagram has been relaxing, inspirational, and pleasant. It is never a place where I get stressed because I have to do Instagram or market on Instagram. And I always say, if you're not feeling good about a social platform because it feels like it's so overwhelming and so much work and you just can't wrap your brain around it, then you shouldn't be doing it. You just shouldn't. I mean, you really need to enjoy the process and understand the nuances to make it work for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. What should you be looking for? So you're using Instagram, people can comment on stuff, they can like it. They can't share it, which is kind of interesting. I mean, you can share it personally, right? But you can't actually just like retweet it or, something like you do on Facebook. So, I mean, what kind of metric would you be looking at? What's the number one thing? Is it followers that you want to improve? What should you be looking to do?
So the first thing that you said is that people can repost your post. There are repost apps, or you can use the hashtag repost and give attribution to the content creator. You always, always, always should do that. And when you do, that content creator will get a notification. So the content creator knows if you've shared it. My content is constantly being shared on other people's Instagram feed. And what does that do? It gets more eyeballs on me, on my feed, on my business. Hopefully my opt-ins increase, my email list increase, and then ultimately my business increases, making more money. So you can share that way, but there is no direct click share to your feed. I think that might be something coming. I really do. But what was the second part of that question?
Well, I guess I was just going to say, where Instagram actually has there's a lot more lockdown. There's more limitations. I know for a long time you could only have a square photo. You can't post links on a photo. It has to be in your bio. So, I mean, what's the best way, I guess, to kind of, if your goal is to make money and build revenue through Instagram, what's the metric that you should be looking at? Is it followers?
Yes.
What should you be doing?
So there's for me. Okay. So there's a couple things. First, let me just kind of go through like Instagram followers, likes, all that stuff. So you can buy followers on Instagram. And a lot of people do this because they want it to appear like they have a strong following here. However, if you do that, all you're going to see in your news feed are crappy photos from people who don't even have Instagram accounts. They're just made up accounts. And you're not going to get any engagement. And in order to get more eyeballs on your account, you really need to have the strong engagement. In my mind, the most important metric is literally the comments in the feed. Now, when people double tap and like, that also helps with your engagement and with the algorithm. Likes are good, but comments are even better. I just switched over to my Instagram account, the Instagram expert, and I have 22 new followers, 66 likes, and 2 comments. And I'd been on probably 3 hours ago this morning. And the reason I'm here is because I want to kind of talk through this with your audience. Also let your audience know that I do have a blog post, how to create a business profile if you're on Instagram. A lot of people haven't switched over to the business profile. The reason I'm saying this is because when you do, you have the ability to click into your insights. When you click into your insights, you can see how many impressions that you have. You can see the reach that you got from the previous week. You can also see how many people have viewed your profiles for the week and how many clicks you get to your website. This is my favorite. So I got 484 clicks to my website and 331 I had from last week. So I'm up from this week. And I also get clicks from my text and from my email, because on a business profile, you can create a contact button. So people can literally contact you. And I do give away my phone number. I find that my greatest conversion happens when I actually get on the phone with someone and listen carefully to their questions, their struggles, their pain points, and solve them in some way that brings them value and makes them smile, even though I can't see it because they're on the phone. And then they say, oh my gosh, that was so great. How can I do X, Y, and Z? And I'll be like, well, we have a hashtag handbook if you need help with hashtags, or we have a great course called Ready, Set, Gram, or you can book a strategy session with me for an hour. And the conversion rate I get from the phone is probably 95%.
Wow.
And so that for me has been absolutely valuable. In addition, people can email me directly from my business profile. So making it easy for people to contact you instead of putting up this wall and having your assistant take the email and just having them jump through hoops when all they want to do is just ask you a question or connect with you. I make it easy for people to connect with me. I love it when I get Instagram direct message questions. I would rather be there some days than in my email. You said you sent me the link for this interview in an email. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to go in my inbox. Can you just send it to me in a Facebook message? Because, so for some people, that's a challenge, just getting through their inbox. With that said, the most important measure for my business and my business model is to get people to click the link in my bio and either sign up for my live webinar, visit my latest blog post, because I can retarget with Facebook ads once they go there, or download my free Instagram strategy guide. That is the guide that will get you going. That is the free guide that we give when you give us your email. And that's the guide that builds trust, like I'm talking about. And then we have an email nurture sequence over a period of 14 days where I want to get to know you. And I also want to tell you a little bit about me. And so I think it's important to nurture anyone who has chosen to join your list so they feel like they're part of your tribe, your community, and your, maybe your movement or your agency or what have you.
Yeah, all really interesting insights. I'm really curious about what kind of content do you put on Instagram that really gets that kind of engagement in those comments? Because I think for some people it's hard. They're like, well, we're not really photographers, or we don't. It's easy if you've got, of course, like a lifestyle brand or a product that you can post pictures of. But if let's say you're an agency or you're working with a client who just inherently their product or their service isn't very visual. Are there
Right.
some sort of tips or ideas to kind of inspire them to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. And I work with a lot of clients like this all the time. The most important thing is to make sure that you stay in your lane, you stay in your niche, and you only post content in that space. And the photo doesn't always have to match up to the description, but it can emotionally pull you in to the point that you're trying to make or the call to action you're trying to give. For example, if you have really fun company culture and you want people to see the game room at your office and talk about a reason why it's just so the environment of where you work is so important and it's part of your core values around your business, and people say, oh my gosh, not only are they brilliant, but they're so much fun and they treat their employees well. And you can show that. You can show behind the scenes or a step-by-step process, or you can give business tips, or you can talk about struggles that you're having that are real, or things that you love. I mean, it's really when you focus on the emotional pull into the photo or the video, as long as it's great quality and you're somewhat creative, you can have great success. It's the accounts that show crappy photos, text overlay everywhere, inspirational quotes going on every which direction with different fonts. And I'm just confused. I land on that account. I'm like, what do you do? This is giving me a headache. I can't even follow this. So if you think of Instagram as a digital magazine, basically when you buy a magazine, you buy it because you know what content to expect when you turn the pages, right?
Yeah.
Success, Entrepreneur, Fortune, Oprah, Real Simple, whatever magazine you buy. Same is true with Instagram. If you want someone to follow you, you have 3 to 6 seconds to make an impression with your bio. So that's what we start with. Then if they like what they see, they will look at your feed as a whole. They won't look at each picture. They scroll and look at your feed. And if the vibe of your feed resonates, then they'll start clicking into photos and getting a sense of the one page at a time, one page at a time with the magazine. I like using that analogy because I think people can really
Yeah, it
visualize
makes
that.
sense. And I like that what you said about looking at the profile. People kind of scan all of your pictures and sort of try to get a feel for like what am I going to expect. They don't really narrow in on an individual photo unless the whole vibe of the page or the profile looks good.
Right. Exactly. And and inside our course, we go through like how to create the perfect bio, how to attract your ideal client, talking about SEO and keywords and all, like there's 7 steps to setting it up correctly. And a lot of people miss about 5 out of the 7.
That's great. Yeah, people should check that out. I do have a question about stories. So recently, or I guess recently, or maybe within the last year, you would know better. Instagram launched stories, I assume, to compete with Snapchat. Is that a useful feature? Are they just being copycats?
Oh yeah.
Let's get into that.
I'm obsessed with stories, love stories. In fact, I just did a takeover 2 days ago with Later Media, and I captured the whole story because it got over 5,000 views. So I was a big Snapchat user. I loved it. I was kind of obsessed with it. I had, I got 400 to 500 views per snap. People were following me, the life of a small business entrepreneur, where I went. I traveled a lot, have a good sense of humor, and it was entertaining. And a lot of people followed me, but I had no idea who they are because they all have these random names with numbers. And occasionally a few people followed me that I knew. And so I was basically communicating to an audience that I didn't really even know because of the way that their names are listed. Then Instagram started stories. Are they competing? Probably. What does it do for Instagram? It adds a whole nother layer. So let's talk about the layers. And I don't eat cake, but I'm going to talk about cake. So, the photos are, is the bottom of the plate of the cake. And the cake is, you've got your photos, you've got your videos, and now you have your stories. And soon we're going to have live Instagram. You're going to be able to go live in the app. And I'm like so excited.
What do you mean? Like live video?
Yeah. Live video
cool.
right from Instagram. Wow. That's coming. And so adding stories to your Instagram account, it's a way that you can show people your real, raw, authentic persona behind the brand. So anyone can curate a perfect Instagram feed. You can get professional photos. You can doctor your photos. There's apps that you can enhance your photos and you can make it look fabulous. But you really can't hide behind a video. So the real raw aspects of Instagram story and how you can have a beginning, middle, and end to make a quick point. I say no more than a minute or no one's going to watch every clip. It is not Snapchat. It is not where you sell. It's where you give and build more value. And I know this because I was an early adopter with Periscope, and I have like 22,000 followers on Periscope. And my conversion rate from Periscope was faster than any other platform, period. Conversion to money, conversion, people didn't go through my sales funnel, that nurture sequence. They would watch me on Periscope. They would see how I taught. They would like my personality, and they'd be like, okay, how can I work with you? I want this. Like, how can I work with you? So I'd give out my number and connect with them quickly, and they would purchase from me. And it was so easy to do that because I was simply being myself and teaching on a regular basis. And so now with Instagram stories, there's all kinds of creative nuances that you can do within your story to keep someone's attention. And it's the angle of how you hold your camera. It's using the filters. It's using the text overlay and the color, all the different color tools that you can. There's 3 different tools. And, for all the creators listening, it's like amazing. So you can really, it's your highlight reel to get more eyeballs to the content in your feed, which is ultimately where you want people's eyes to go. At the end of the day, you want them to go to that one clickable link. Now, if you're verified on Instagram, and I'm not yet verified and I want it so badly, you can have people swipe up and go directly to your link in Instagram stories. Gary Vaynerchuk has this, and he's sending people directly to his YouTube channel. Casey Neistat has this and sends people to his YouTube channel. I've seen a couple of bigger brands like Kate Spade send you directly to a link to purchase the bag. So that's pretty awesome.
How do you get verified?
There's a lot of different criteria, but I think a lot of it has to do with Facebook first. So I'm not verified on Instagram, and I have 42,000 plus followers, and there's people with less followers that are verified, but they're verified over on Facebook. So it's getting verified on Facebook. I think we have over 11,000 likes on our page, but they want to see more of you as an authority in your space. I have to apply again for Facebook verification, but it allows. The point is, when you have that, I think it will come to for everybody soon. They're just rolling it out. So there's that, the ability to directly send people to a link in your story, which is cool. Yeah. And I get people sending me direct messages all day long from my stories. What does that do? That solidifies these relationships. I'm having a conversation one-to-one with people who are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe Sue just sent me a video DM back. That's so cool. Like, I take the time to authentically engage. None of this automatic hashtag bots, fake comment stuff that people do on Instagram. Those people annoy me to no end.
Like Twitter is notorious for that. When you get the DM from thanks for following me.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
None of that stuff. I'm just backing up a little bit because at one point you were talking about insights and looking at your metrics and stuff, but I don't even know in Instagram, where do you go to get that stuff? Or do you use a separate app for it? How do you actually look at your stats?
You need to turn your account into a business account. So if you're on your account and you click on the gear on the top right and you scroll down, it says that you can change it to a business account.
That's really cool. I've learned I don't know, a ton of new things.
Cool.
I didn't even know
it's
all
right
this
under,
stuff.
yeah. So it's right under account. So account, and then it says switch to business profile. And all you need to do, you need to have a Facebook account to switch it to a business profile. And like I said, I wrote a blog post that you should link in the show notes so people understand the value of all these insights. And at the end of the day, folks, it's all about the data. It's not about being Instagram famous or having a lot of followers. It's about are you converting?
Yeah.
Are you getting the results that you want?
Yeah. Well, anybody can create a hashtag and call themselves an expert, but you just proved it on this podcast. You know your shit.
I know my shit. And my favorite hashtag is hashtag shit ton. I know a shit ton.
Good. So for people who want to learn a shit ton more, where can they go to get more Sue B. Zimmerman?
Yeah, so if you're listening to this during our webinar launch, we have a few more live webinars, and the link is subizimmerman.com/free webinar. Will take you to my webinar to sign up to learn how to make money, 5 different ways that you can make money, real ways to make money on Instagram. And if you're listening after that, the link in my bio on Instagram at Sue B. Zimmerman or at the Instagram expert will most likely take you to my free Instagram strategy guide. And if you don't see it there, then check our website, subizimmerman.com. Download is there as well. And, that's our first touch point that we have with people, is to give information that's valuable and nurture and build that relationship. And, because I think when other people talk about me, that's the sign of success. I'd rather have other people saying how good I am at Instagram than me having to say, I'm the Instagram expert.
Yeah. I mean, you always have to start tooting your own horn, but eventually, get others to toot it as well, right?
Yeah, that's nice when that happens.
Well, thank you so much for your time being on this, Sue. We're going to post all those links in the show notes for people to check out. I've learned a ton. I know Kevin has too. And
Yeah, hey, can I give you guys one little challenge for your listeners?
Sure.
Okay, so I have this really fun hashtag called hashtag Sue B made me do it. And the challenge is to take a photo, a selfie, or maybe it's just your computer or however you're listening to this podcast, and tag me at Sue B. Zimmerman at the Instagram expert, using that hashtag so that I can see it. But more importantly, you will be curated in a hashtag hub with everyone else who's taken the hashtag Sue B made me do it challenge. And I do this when I get interviewed on podcasts. So everyone who's done it has listened to one or another of my interviews. And so it's a way for you guys to learn more from other interviews I've done, but more importantly for you to get a sense of the other people on Instagram who are part of this community.
Very cool. We're going to rise to the challenge.
Yes.
Cool.
Encourage the listeners to do the same.
Love it. You guys are awesome.
You're awesome. Thanks again, Sue. And we look forward to checking that out and participating in the challenge.
Thanks, Sue.
Cool. Yeah, great to be with you guys. Kyle and Kevin, we'll be in touch soon. Take care.
Right. Thanks, Sue.
Right, bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Agencies Drinking Beer. If you enjoyed it, we'd appreciate it if you rate and or review us on the iTunes Store. If you have a story or lesson to share with other agency owners and managers from around the world, hit us up. Just email Kyle or Kevin at proposify.biz. And also, if you write business proposals and you want to make that process a whole lot easier and more streamlined, check out proposify.biz and sign up for a free 30-day trial. Cheers!